colleagues, when you're loading this file, it has to close. So I can copy the directory where it is, then I close it here, then go ahead and open a new blank sheet, this, then get data. The other one is an Excel. Why I can say that it is an Excel well comfortable because it is not a CSV, because it has more than one sheet. Yeah, so that's why I'm comfortable to say that it is already an Excel workbook. So you can use these two options, this or the other one, and you pick that Excel workbook. So it will open an Explorer, Windows Explorer, for me to pick out what I need. I will paste the other directory I copied, and here it is. Then go ahead and this is it, financial sample. I will open that. So please, if you forgotten these steps, you can ask, but I will be somehow quick. But I will leave the doubt of you to unmute and ask in case you have any challenge. So remember, as I said, number one, we don't export sheets. You see, these are sheets. Manager, measure, refresh, these are sheets. We focus on tables. So you see we have these fact tables and the dimension managers. Those two tables were already formatted into table format. But if they are not formatted into table format, since we have already confirmed that each table is on its own sheet, we can go ahead and import, actually it is managers and sales. Leave out the others because it is none of our business. So I will import this. Go ahead and transform as we said before. Here it is, it has opened. So this is the cells. I'll leave it as how it is. Then this is the managers table. I'll leave as the way it is. Everything was cleaned, but I have to do a double check. All this is text, good. But when you check the headers, it is showing column 1, column 2, column 3. That is not what we need. Our heading is this row 1. So what do we do here? You come and look for this option. I'll keep wiggling my cursor like this such that it doesn't disappear. So this option, use first row as headers. I'll click on that because I want to use this first row as my headings. There is another option which says use headers as first row if you want to demote, but now I want to promote. So I will just say use first row as headers. So the moment I click on that, you see the step shows that I have promoted headers because the first row I have promoted it to be the header. Good, perfect. Nothing else I can do here. All is good. Let me go to cells and also do a double check. The headers are fine. When I look at the data types, they are fine. These are numbers, fine. Then number, these are decimals because maybe there was one decimal. You leave it. Since it's already defaulted to that, leave it. Then you see these are decimal. This is a date. Month, year is a number, but you can even change this to a text because there is no day. We shall want to add the year. So a year we can always give it a text data type. There is no compromise on that. Now there is this option that comes. Do you want to replace the current step or you want to add a new step? Now I'm trying to change a data type, but there is already an automatic change data type that had created. Now what they're asking here, do you want to add the changes you're making in the current one or you want to add a separate one? So I want to add it in the current one, but there are it is two-way. It has an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage is that you don't get many steps that are showing change type 1, change type 2, change type 3. That is the first advantage, and it improves on performance. Then the disadvantage is if what you're changing fails, it means that whatever was automatically changed type here will also fail, which means you'll have to cancel this and repeat changing all the data types. I think that we are clear. Obviously, I will replace because I don't need another step. And I'm sure what I'm doing, I can revert it in case it fails. So I'll replace that. And when you come here on the DAX itself here, you see it has added here at the end. It has changed the year to text. And before it was number. So that's what it means. It means it just updated this, it changed it from number to text. Okay. So where I was saying that if it fails, I can go ahead and revert this. If I copy this number and put it here on text, and replace it there, and I tick this, you'll see the year is going back to number. Actually, this number now it has gone to decimal, which is number. Remember the other one is integer. So integer, either integer or number, it is the 123 or the 1.2. So it has gone back to that. Remember, we can't undo here, which means if I want to do a change again, either I cancel the whole of this and repeat all these changes, or I come here and change this back to text. But make sure that you're using the spelling that is being used in Power BI. So the moment I check that, you see it goes back to text. So why I'm trying to show you this, that you can always look at your DAX and understand what it is doing. The moment you start doing Power BI, the moment you start dealing with DAX, it should be easy for you to look at this and understand what Power BI has done in the background. That's the experience you get in solving the errors you get, or someone is having an error, they are sweating with it the whole day. You just come and add a comma somewhere and something is good to go. Okay, we are done with that too. I will close and apply this. Now, we are going to add a calendar date, a calendar table. You have seen we don't have a calendar table, right? So we are going to add a calendar table. Last time, we found ourselves having a calendar table starting with the initial column of 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 date. Today we are going to use DAX to create those columns. I will give you the basics. Then after that, we shall use ChatGTP to give us a detailed one, depending on how you need it and how you prompt. So these have loaded cells with 700 rows and the other one with. So when I come to data, table view, I should be seeing my data here. So if you click on managers, you should be seeing that. And on cells, you should be seeing that. Let's go ahead and create now a calendar table. Calendar table is like a measure. So we are creating a measure. Now there are two things here. We can start with this. So you come to create a new measure. Now the measure we are creating is called calendar equals to. Now there are two ways. There is sorry. There are two ways. There is a function called calendar. There is this calendar and there is this calendar auto. Now, when you click on calendar, it requests you to put a start date and an end date, right? So if I try to put a start date, obviously you start with year, then month, then day. Sorry, Daphne has dropped. So this is not what I need. Then there is also calendar auto. So the moment you click on calendar auto and I close without putting anything, for it, it will go into my data sets and look out for a table that has a date. Then it will use that as an auto. So if I enter, it is going to create for us a calendar table. Just give it some time. Okay, here it is. Though it has created it inside the managers. Okay, it has created it inside the managers table. So when you click on this, you see the showing calendar table, but this is not what we wanted. What we wanted is to first create a table, then we can go ahead and create a measure. In other words, now those are the two options. So that has been done with intention that when you're creating a calendar table, it is not only a measure, but we create it as a table, but in terms of a measure. So I will delete this from the model. Then I show you the correct option of on how you should have created it. So when we come to our ribbon, there is this enter data. I will not use that because I'm not going to enter data. Then when you go to table view, that's where you find an option of new table. So this is the option we are supposed to use. When you hover over it, you see it shows you write a DAX expression to create a new table. So when you click on this, it is going to create a new table here, but it will ask you for the DAX. And the DAX, we are saying that this we are going to call it a calendar table. And here I'm going to go ahead and say this is calendar auto. So calendar auto, here they are asking me, put the fiscal year ending. I remember Daphne asked that last time, which means here if you want to put the fiscal year ending. But most of the time, the data we are dealing with is dynamic. That's why we never want to fix it. Because if you fix it, ending maybe March, and more data keeps coming in, maybe you're no longer even working with that team. When they reach March, this report will stop updating. That's why making it auto, such that whichever data they update, even the calendar table automatically updates. This is the best option you can always go with. So when I enter calendar auto, you see it has gone to our sales table and looked out what is the year that is there, 2021. Now they create from 01 January 2021, 02 up to the end. So it also looks at which year is the last in that table. So if the year is 2022, it will give you up to 31st of December 2022. It means that if I brought more data updated, let's say for 2023, this calendar table will automatically update without your notice. So that is the option you can always go for. Now, this is the DAX so far we have. If I can increase on this. You see now, this is the DAX so far we have. Now, someone may ask himself, how do we add the month? How do we add the other details we need? How do we add those? Yes. Now, I had created something here. The syntax of adding, anyway, before we go to that. Now, if you have more than one table, and all those tables have dates, but looking at the fact table, because the fact table, I remember telling you that is what they update on a daily. And you want to only purposely your calendar to focus on that fact table, not to focus on the other tables that also have dates. Because the calendar will go and pick any date that is in any of your data. So for you to restrict it that please look at this, you can always give it the minimum and the maximum of a certain table. It means if that is now we are going now to a level of adding more columns. So if I say here there is add columns, I will move this down. You remember what we said last time to make sure that your DAX is clean. Now, since I've opened add columns, I will come this side down. No. Sorry, I used one end. You have to use shift enter for you to move it down. Now, we are saying add columns, but the calendar auto, this is what we created. But now if in between here, we want to redirect it that please always go to this table, look out for this column of date and pick the minimum, pick the maximum. Because right now you realize that even if our data was having 2021 July, that was the start, it has started from January, of which it is taking up some space if it is starting from January, because for it is auto. Even if you have data that is 31st of December 2021, then you go to 2022, it will start from January of 2021, yet our data starts from December. So that's where you come here and we put a minimum. Now, minimum, looking out for the table we have, the table we have is sales table. So we are telling this calendar, please, as you get for me the dates, go to the sales table, look out for the sales date, get for me that minimum, comma, then comma here, sorry for that, enter, then get for me the maximum. The maximum, what do I need? I need still the sales data, sales table. You go and look for the sales date, then close that. Here there is an error, minimum, maximum sales. Okay, I think the table needs to be, okay, yeah, we missed out that. I think for this to recognize the table, now recognizing the table is because this table is not part of the calendar table. It is a different table, but is part of the data. So here we are getting, now this is the same thing. Oh, this is not meant to be auto. Yeah, this is it. So the moment we put the maximum and minimum, it is no longer calendar auto. I think that's where we had an error. Yes, this is it. So remember the first calendar I showed you where it was asking you the start date and the end date. So the start date is our minimum and the end date is our maximum. So here we shall try to add at least one column because it is still showing us an error because we had, okay, let's first remove the add column. Then I run for you this. Then we'll go and check the calendar date. I'm doing this, I'm slow such that you guys, because most people even who have done Power BI for years, someone can generate uh, a calendar table from DAX. Obviously, you'll have your DAX here. You always copy paste, but the day it will get errors, or the day you're teaching someone, you need to tell them the basics. Going forward, you don't need to do all this. You keep your calendar table format, like your code, which you always copy and paste. You don't repeat the same thing. Now you see the change I was telling you. This time, our date is starting from 1st September. You know the reason why? Because this time we have given it that start from the minimum and end with this maximum. And when we scroll at the bottom, it is 1st December 2022, and yet it was running up to 31st December 2022. You know what we have done? We have killed a lot of rows that would have been here. So we had around 730 rows. Now we have 457 rows. We have reduced on that. Imagine after adding columns here, that data increases on your storage capacity, it increases on your performance. I'll keep talking about that. Okay, let's go back to the DAX. Now we need to add columns. we need to start adding columns like date, columns like month, columns like name them. We are going to add like 3 columns, then others we are going to chat GTP. We ask it to standardize our calendar dates. You'll see the magic it will create. And that's the objective of this call. Now, when you're adding a column, you should know their functions. You should get to know their functions like weekday. We also even have those functions in Excel. Function like format, function like day, function like you name them. So here, if you're adding, let's say, a date, so after that we shall do a comma because now we are adding the first our first column. Put it in quotes, double quotes, then this is going to be our, let's say, let's call it, let's call it the name like this. Why are we putting this in quotes? Because this is our own string. It is not a function in Power BI that Power BI knows what the name means. So it is you to make sure that you put it right and you put it in quotes. So that's what I was talking about. Now here you do a comma. Since we need the day name, we want to pick it from the column date. So we shall say format. That is the function we have in Power BI. That's why it is in blue. So we are changing a format of what? A format of the date here. For columns, when you're typing columns, you start with a square bracket. Don't get worried if you don't get this right. You'll get it with time. Then what format do we need? We need a format because this is a day name like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. If you need a day name to be a full name, you put 4 Ds. You know that even in Excel. If you need like it is Sunday to be called Sun, you put 3 Ds like that. So what is missing here is closing this. So I'll go ahead and close this. Run this by committing changes. It is still having an error. Where is the we had removed the add column, and yet we already adding column. So you see, when a bracket opens and it is in red, it means you haven't closed it down. So I'll close it, then commit again. Boom. Now, when you check this column, we have added the column here using DAX. You see this, Wednesday. So you can go ahead, add others. Now, this is mine, which means I can copy the whole of this and bring it here. Now, we are using, I've shown you the basics. Then let's look through on what this means. Now you see, okay, we have already done this. It is off. Make sure that after every column you end, there is a comma. So this is, you see, day of the week. The function that will give you day of the week is weekday, then the date. You put a 1 for it to start with Monday. We know these functions even in Excel, but if you don't, please don't bother yourself. Just go to ChatGTP or any AI, it will standardize this. Now, you see day of the month, that is day equals to, just undo, that is day. You see, everything we are referring this to the date column because this is the mother of everything we are adding. And that's why we said we are adding columns and these are the columns we add. It is upon you to remove any column you feel like this one I will not need to use it. This one I will not need to use it. This one I will not need to use it. There are very many. This is always my standard I use. I will share with you this. I will share with you this file. This is my standard I use. I have reused this in all the projects I run, like for the last 6 years. I keep updating when Power BI makes updates. Like when they make an update that now they have added a function maybe of month, I come and add. Or when I realize that I need to use maybe the short of a month, like an abbreviate, I come and add it. So when I have done this, and in case you check this side where you see where there is a scroll this side, and you don't see any scroll that is red, it means you don't have an error. Let me remove this comma here. So when I remove that comma, you see you have red here. It means that you have an error that is starting from this line, which is this. So this line is also having dashes, meaning there is an error. And the error is either before or within it. So it is before we know that it is a comma. But in case you're troubled, what could be the error? Just copy your code, even if it is a measure. Take it in ChatGTP, ask ChatGTP to correct and refer to you what error it is. So, when I commit on this, you see that it is going to create all the columns of the calendar table. You see all these columns. These columns, before even you start visualizing, you need these columns because you're going to reach a point, you're creating a column chart, and you can't put in the x-axis the name of the month, like the whole of January. Yet, that is going to make your axis dirty, with cluttered actually. But you wanted to just use JJMA for Apple, or you want to use APR for Apple, that is the short for Apple. You all do that from the calendar table. So when you check that, all have those columns. You can pick them at your own convenience. The moment you have done the relationship right. So you see the calendar table has not yet connected to our data. I'll just come here and connect the calendar table to our date. Where is date? Where is date? Actually, if you want to refresh this, you can always go to where is manage relationship here. Manage relationship. Then you say auto detect. Like I'm stranded. What did I miss out? I'll come and do auto detect, and Power BI will run. That's why it is called Power BI. It will run. Obviously, it is showing me no because of the naming. Because of the naming, you'll find that the date column here, but it is having, meaning that I had to cancel all the other ones, then I auto do. So this is it. I'll go ahead, and it is many to one and it is single. We explained that. We'll go ahead and action on that. There you go. Now, which means if I start my visualizations here, I can easily pick a column chart. Then, instead of using the month name here on the x-axis and bring the cells, okay, the gross cells. Let me bring the gross cells. I want to create for you a difference, what we are talking about. Where is the gross cells here? Boom. Now you see what I'm talking about here. Oh, this is, no, I wanted a full month name. Month name. Yeah, I wanted this. Huh? Now, obviously, this is, let's go back and see where is the month name. Oh, we don't have the column that is showing January, the full name, the full name. Huh? But let's add it just for for the study purpose. So here you see you have a month name. So if you want to get a full month name, I will add it here. Shift enter. Uh, you can copy paste that there. Then we say this is we call it full month name. So full month name, I will get it by using format. So I can only get it by using format. What am I formatting? The the date column. But which format are we using? Open quotes. Using the 4Ms. The 4Ms give you a full. You see now these dashes shows that I have an error, but the error I know it because I haven't closed this bracket. So I'll close it and the error will go off. Now if I commit this, the commit the changes, you'll see, where did we add this? Full month name, where is it? It is here. So let's go and use it. Actually, I wanted to use it this side. If it hasn't reflected, remember to refresh. It will reflect. Boom, here it is. So now imagine you have this same graph. Um, Here you have the short month, then here you have the full month. Now, there is a difference between someone presenting this and this. There is a difference. The difference is that this person is neat and he has no clutter. That this person, because you're not going to have a chart that is taking nearly half of your dashboard, this chart must be this size because you'll need more three visuals here. Let's make sure that also we make this one to that size. So you see where problems start from. Here, having your labels slanting in user experience, that's not good. Someone may ask, why are we starting with October? Because it is sorting from highest to lowest. So you can always change this to sort by month. And remember, it is when we say by month, okay, we can sort descending, ascending, such that we start with the first. Now you see it is starting with April because April is A. Goes to August because August is A. How do you change this? Go back to your data. Go back to your data. Then you say, I want this month name, this one. Select it. I want it to sort by. You see, the reason why we add the month of the year as number 1, 2, 3, 4, because we are going to use that number to do the sorting of the months. You may not use it anywhere in your graphs, but you're using it in the background. So we use it to sort the months. So such that January is looked at as 1, April is looked at as 4, such that when we sort, one stamp comes first, then 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 12. So you come here on sort by, then you say, I'm sorting this full month name by month. This column is month of the year. So you look for month of the year, which is this. Go ahead, boom. Now, when you go back to our chart, it will have changed automatically. If not, it has changed automatically. You see January, February, March, up to December. That's the trick. Never get challenged on that. Now, because this was a short one, also we have to do it different. So if I go back here and I come to this short one, I say I also want to sort that by month of the year. And if I go back, so you'll see it is going to update. Just give it time to refresh, or you can always force it to refresh. So here I'm refreshing schema or data or both. But when you refresh both, sometimes it may take longer. So wait a minute. Okay, this is schema. Now, the challenge why it is not refreshing is because we are using the other sort on a different column. You can't use it on another column. So which means there you'll have to create another month name, either duplicate this and name it different. Actually, it is here, there is sort month. We can now use this. You see, they are two different, but nearly they are the same. Still, that is the purpose that you may want to sort this. You see, this is sorting the month, short month. Then there is this. So this I can use now the sort month to make sure that they are different. That's why it had failed. So let's go back and check our visual. It should automatically refresh. Okay. Oh, we had not yet changed this to sort by month. And we ascend. Ascend, we start from January to December. Descend, we start from December to January. This is it. Now you check that, yeah, we have done sorted this, and uh, even if it was you and they told you select which one is best, automatically the one below is best because it is neat. Now we can even go further and use one letter J, F, M, A. We can also go ahead and use that. How we do that also, that is a different DAX. I will show it to you. I have it here. It is different. This, where you make the month letter, and it is a column that you create using a switch. Okay, now let's go and create a calendar table using let's use cloud. Have you ever used cloud? Okay.
No.
Yeah, it is good at codes and developments. I'm not saying others are not good. Don't misquote me. They're also good. Now, here I'm going to charge to prompt. So I also do courses in teaching people AI. So since we are here, then let's take the opportunity. Yo, power is back. You are a specialist and Power BI developer. Now, what we do in AI, what I'm doing here, I'm giving AI a role. That is called prompt engineering. I always do also those tutorials, how you have to prompt AI. You first give it a role. You are a specialist in this and that. Then it confines there, which means every answer it is giving you, it is going to give it to you as a specialist and a Power BI developer. So you're a specialist and a Power BI developer. Create a calendar table, DAX. DAX has to be capital, uppercase, DAX. Using date, make sure you give it the correct spelling of your column, the other side, such that you don't have to re-edit that your DAX after it has given you the DAX. Using, and it's good if you can also put it in square brackets. You also already know what square brackets mean as a Power BI user. Using that as a calendar field, comma. Now, I have given AI the purpose or what it is supposed to do. Now I'm going to give it instructions. Standardize the DAX with the current trends. Current trends, I'm showing it that you go to the internet, look at what people have done currently, what updates have. The new updates, I don't want you to give me a DAX that is 10 years old. Standardize the DAX with the current trends. Then make it simple. You can also put include comments where necessary. I'm giving instructions to Power BI. Then uh, include fiscal year computation as start month is July. You can put 7 in brackets. Now, what I'm telling what I'm telling Cloud is I'm giving it a role, I'm giving it a role, I'm giving it a job to do, and I'm giving it instructions, right? Then the last thing is I would put a clear ducks to a clear and ready, a clear and ready ducks to apply in the running project or existing project. Here I'm giving it now another command. That is the output command. Give me the answer like this. If I want it as a table, it will give you it as a table. Now, the moment you run this, it will give you the answer. But how do we tweak AI? You see, now we have gone into prompt engineering. How do we tweak AI most of the times? Is to create it, rewrite your prompt as if you are a professional prompt engineer. So here I will say rewrite the prompt before executing. Now, it is going to first rewrite this prompt as if it was someone who has even a master's in prompt engineering. Then after that, it will execute the prompt. So you see, it has started the execution of the prompt. And obviously it will write for me the prompt on the left. You get why I was telling you that cloud is good in development. If I was running this in ChatGTP, it was going to give it to you differently. We are going to run the same in ChatGTP. Now you see it has rewritten the prompt, how I should have typed this prompt. Implement instructions, apply the. Now those are the instructions how I'm supposed to apply that. Then giving me even the explanation. Now, without a doubt, even I don't have to review from here. You can review by reading what it has given you here. But if we take this code of ours the other side and we read it from there, just do a Control C, or you can even copy from here. So if you want to download, you can download it or you can copy it. So I will copy it and take it into my Power BI. So we go to the calendar table. We can even create another calendar table. Actually, we can create a new one. So let's come to home and we say create a new table, right? So create a new table. It will open for me this, and I will say this is calendar. You'll allow me put AI because we have to give AI credit. So we go and paste. Now, using AI is good, but you understanding what AI has given you is perfect. So giving me an answer and I just dump it there without understanding it is not good. So you see here it has given you a variation of the minimum date and the maximum date. And here it is giving me a hard-coded one. Remember, uh, here we can have our own by picking the minimum directly from our column. Because here you see it is starting that the date, it is starting from 2020 to 2030. Do you know how huge that table will be? So which means I will have to change this because I didn't put that command. If I put the command, it would have given me. Now for it assimilated me, who is in 2025. Doing 5 years before and 5 years after, that's what it has done. So because I didn't tell it, so which means I can come here and say minimum date is minimum, then I pick my date like this. You understand this? Actually, we have to first define date. Okay, not to lose you. Let's do it hard coded. Since this was 2021, month of September and 1, because these variables, we haven't talked about variables. That's why I never wanted to take you very far. Let's make this 2022. Let's leave it to December. That adjust the date as needed. So you can always reuse this and you keep adjusting the date as you want. Now, when you see these two slashes in DAX, that's when if you want to put a comment. Even when we go back to the other calendar and we want to put comments, explanations to some of the things to quickly understand when we come back. You put two dashes, like if I want to put here two dashes, like sorry, you put two strokes, then you put a comment like this. It will always act as a comment. But if you don't put those two strokes, it will make your code with error because they are not understanding this function. So always if you want to comment, you do that. Now, you see it is doing a variation. It is getting a minimum date, a maximum date. Now it comes here to add columns. We already did this. Return, add columns, calendar, minimum date and maximum date. This is exactly what we did the other side. Now it comes and gives you the basics, the basic dates, year, month, short of the date, short of, name them. Name, this is day of the year, So then you come to year month combination. It has split in that way that it was smart to make sure that it splits for you. This is year related columns, this is quarter related columns, this is year related columns. Now the question Daphne had asked before, that you'll have your DAX, you'll have to first define fiscal year start month. Here it is 7. You can change it. Like in the company I'm in, our fiscal year starts in April, which means I will come and put here 4 instead of 7. The moment you put here 4, it means when you come even here on my quarter 1 will start in April, but the quarter 1 of the person who has put here 7 starts in July. Daphne, are we together there? That is the simple way how you run this in DAX, which is difficult to run in the other previous way we were creating calendar dates, calendar tables. Now, when you have defined that, when you come here like on fiscal year, it is very easy. If the month date is greater than the fiscal year start, it is greater than 7, then it will bring the year plus 1. Which means if the month date is greater than July 2025, if it is greater than July 2025, we are in December right now. It will bring the fiscal year, because the fiscal year started in 2024, July. No. Actually, the fiscal year for this year it started in July, up to July coming. So it will, if the month is greater than, the month we are in is greater than the month of the fiscal year, that is 12 right now, it will bring for you that year, which is 2025. But if not, then it will add year plus 1. I don't know whether we get it, but we can study it slowly, slowly. I don't want us to uh, get much routed into DAX. So even here, creating a fiscal quarter name, very simple. These functions are very simple. Just following them up. That here it will give you FQ as a prefix, then it will bring the number that will be calculated here, depending in the month you'll be in or the data you're analyzing. So that's how you define the physical setup. Then now these ones are the relative date flags. Like if in your data you want to mark if the date is today. You see, like if it's today, they give you that function today. If it's yesterday, they do today minus one. If it is the current month, they do this month. If it is the current quarter, they do this quarter. All those functions it gives you, such that when I commit this and go to that table, you'll find it has like zillion of columns. It is giving us an error. Where is the error? The expression refers to multiple columns. Multiple columns cannot be converted to a scalar. What did we create? Multiple columns cannot be converted to a scalar value. Let's X this. Let's create a new table again. It is showing the same error. So when you have such errors, it's good you're using AI. You go back and dump the error here. Getting an error. Advise step by step, like this. Then you paste your error there and enter. So it is going to give you where you should have gone wrong. So the issue is that there occurs creating a date inside that. Yes, there is something I added, which is creating ambiguity. Let's fix this. So that is being fixed. What changes it has done? The original code has been nested in calculation, add column, So whatever they have done, I'm going to pick this again, and I'm going to copy this, take it here, and paste, then commit. The syntax this or here, because there is an equals. Now that's where the problem is coming from. So this is not necessary. I will remove it because it is a comment. Now it is reading those equal signs as if it is like these equal signs. So some of the things, that's why I was saying, even if you need to learn DAX to quickly remove such errors, because ChatGPT or AI cannot give you everything. Now you see here, we have created our calendar table with a lot of columns that will give us, that we shall not lack when we're analyzing. If you want to know whether a date is current date today, then you also have the true, false here, which means there is one data that has a true, which is today. If I can filter out true, you'll find that that date is today. You see this, this 10th of December 2025. Now, if I'm running my data the other side and I want to mark somewhere, maybe if it is a Gantt chart, I want to put somewhere a marking that the date is today, that is what you use. You already have it. So, guys, do we have any question to do with how we create a calendar table? I have spent enough time such that we have the basics on how we create calendar table using DAX. Now, this one we have got using AI. It's long, but you can always limit AI to not go, because for us, remember we told it to standardize it. You remember the instruction we gave it. So it went to the web and found out the people who have like even using right now in their projects. And it picked out the standard of all the columns they are using. So you'll find that some of the columns you don't need them and you'll automatically remove them to shorten, or you'll hide them. But all in all, it's that. How you hide them is from here. Let's say if I don't want a column to appear, you just come on this eye and hide it. Let's say is the weekend, if you don't want that, you click there and it will automatically hide from the table view. So if you go back to the table view is weekend, you'll not find it there. You see, here we have is, let's do like this. So is today, is yesterday's month, so his weekend has disappeared. If we want to remove his weekday, so you see his weekend is having a hidden, which means when you go back to your data or you're analyzing, you'll not have it visible and you'll not use it. So I can delete this table from the model because it is the one that had an error. Now, which means if I come back to my model, it is not good to have two calendar tables, but since we have two, let's see how we model them. This is it. So since we have two, I will bring this date here and go ahead and do that. So which means now you can go ahead and use this. But now you don't have to have two because they will confuse you. Picking this side, you'll find that some of the filters are not working. So, meaning then before we leave, because I want to leave you with uh, with your practice, what you're going to do. Now, how do I tell AI to advise me on the KPIs and the measures that I'm going to use? I know we are running out of time, but just give me a few minutes. So I want to, I can even start a new chat. I can start a new chat. Now, I want Cloud to give me, to advise me which KPIs I should use and which measures I should focus on and the visuals. So what do? You're going to go to your data which you have already loaded. Minimize these tables, they are all over the place. So I have these two tables. I have the managers table, ID, and I have the sales table. So there are two options you can use. You can download the data or you can take a screenshot, right? Now I'm going to take two screenshots. So I will take a screenshot of this data of mine and you can annotate it to make sure that you show what it is because I will need those names to be used. Then I will bring this and paste it here. Then go ahead and also bring the managers. You can also pass a screenshot. You don't need to take the whole table. Our focus is the header names because our measures come with the header names. Copy that, bring it here. Now, here you start explaining. I've already told you how we prompt ChatGPT or AI. you give it a profession. You are a Power BI developer. Analyzing data in sales. The other table is sales. Sales table and managers table. Already modeled, data modeling now. Already modeled with a calendar table with this field as related to sales data. Now, we have given it a specialist, a professional. We have given a command. We have explained our data. I have even put a line to make sure that it's separated from the other one. Now I'm going to give it instructions. Advise on the business KPIs to be analyzed, visuals for each KPI, measures and DAX created, ready for upload. Then step by step on completion, on just let me make it shorter. On dashboard creation, can say one pager. Dashboard creation. I'm giving it now commands. Add the necessary filters, slicers, visuals. That is one. Design mockups. Actually, let's trick it to design for us. Design a mockup. What does a mockup mean? It's like, how is the dashboard going to look like? Then you can give the name of the company. Name of the company is Subtech Merchandise. Then this is enough. Now, to trick it, to write for you this prompt in a standard way, then you say rewrite the prompt to standard before you execute. Guys, that's how we prompt AI. So you give it a profession, you explain the attachment, you give it a command, you give it actually instructions, you give it a command on what it should be. Actually, you can even follow up and say, make it simple, make it this, take it, I'm a learner, don't complicate, something like that. It will give you even the DAX and measures that are not so complicated, like how you saw the calendar table it gave us. If we said, I need a calendar table at a category of learners or beginners, it would have shortened it. So let's go ahead and run this. Boom. So you can always give it some time if you have given it instructions that are somehow heavy. But as it is running, please, you can go ahead and ask questions because you are going to do this. And guys, when you've done, please share your work. We are going to do this ourselves. And the whole week, I want us to be busy on that group. The issues you have come up with or the errors you're getting. You can imagine it is writing for us the whole DAX that we should have struggled writing. And it is going to give us all the KPIs. So here we start. Now this is the measures and the KPIs. Now here, it starts by refining analysis prompt. This is the prompt now, it has written the prompt. In other words, it tells you you should have written the prompt like this. I'll analyze this. Now it has given you the data modeling, understanding these tables. You see, it has stated all the columns. Why? Because I gave it a screenshot on purpose for it to look at the columns. If you can't make a screenshot, you download. How do we download data that you have already loaded here? You come to, you see under model view. No, it is here. Then you come and click on that. Then there is, no, when you go to Power Query Editor, sorry. When you go to Power Query Editor, on this table, when you right click on this table, there is download somewhere. I think I'm missing where I always get it, but there is download somewhere. Let me see here. Oh, copy data. You see copy table. So you copy this table, you open an Excel, you paste it there. Then you upload the Excel itself. But make sure if the Excel is having like 700 lines, like if I paste this here, we just need few. You can delete these because we want it to focus on the headers with a sample of a few lines of data. Even the other ones of cells, you can give it like 5 lines and the headers. You don't need to complicate it and giving it everything. It is going to take a lot of time analyzing your attachment than doing for you the work you need. So when you check cloud here, you see it tells you the data modeling, then it recommends you on the KPIs. You can put these in your documentation. You know when you're creating a project, you create a document. You document the because you have to speak to the business. You have to go back to the business. Guys, this is what I'm going to include on the report. Are you okay with that? Obviously, everyone knows that we use ChatGTP, but we don't have to use it in front of others because you can be frustrated. Now, guys, you see here it has given us the mockup. The other last option I added that give us the mockup. Now, this is the mockup. It is not functional, but it has given you where you can start from, how your data is going to look like with all the measures it has given you the other side. It shows you that you're going to have filters like this. You're going to have country filters for product segments. These are the different pages, whether they are not. This is a mock-up. It is like a screenshot. Then the revenue net, this is what you'll have. Then even the other tables. But other tables, you see it is skipping them, but you can go ahead and align it. Now to try out, do the modeling, you're going to do the measures. Now here it has given us all the KPIs that on the financial performance, you're going to have this. On the sales performance, you're going to have this. On the operation, you're going to have this. Now the measures it has given us, the table is here. If you click, because here, this is the code. If you click here, Oh no, that's the code for that. Then for the measures, it's here. So this is for the measures. So we are going to have all these measures we created. How do you create the measures? Very simple. Like now how you see this is, you copy it, you take it the other side and create a measure. Let me copy this. So I will take this here, we come back here, create a new measure. Remember, last time I showed you how you create a new table, a table for only measures. So you create a table and you name this, you can name it TBL measure like this and load it. The moment you load it, it will load here as a new table with a blank column. We talked about that last time. So here is the table, it loads with a blank column. You can't hide or remove this before you add the first measure. So I'll right click here, add a new measure. Since I've already copied it from the other side, I'll go ahead and paste it here like this. The moment I commit, it will come. Now you see on top it is having a comment. Why am I saying it is a comment? Because you see this. So here I have to shift enter. So you can do away with the comment, then total revenue, it is already here. So it means that if I'm to run my score and bring this total revenue here, there you go. You see that is the total revenue. So you can do away with a comment and everything is already aligned. So the other thing is just formatting. So which means you create all the measures. So if we have already put one measure, then this column can be deleted from the model like this. The moment you delete it, you'll see the icon of this table will change to an icon to show that it is a measure. You see it has changed and it has gone at the top. So you can go ahead add more measures there. Now, there is an option. Last time I told you we didn't use this DAX. Now, there is, if I want to create all the measures at once, that's the magic. Let's end with that. Now I will say, now all these are the measures. You'll come to this DAX option. You go to this table, you right click on it, you see quick queries, then you come and say define all measures in this table. The moment you do that, define all measures in this table, you see it will give you this. It is giving you this, that it has summarized this. Now I'm going to take this as a query. Wait a minute, it is loading. Okay, working. So I'm going to take this as, okay, I'll remove, obviously, summarize that. Now this, define this. Now I'm going to take this in ChatGPT and tell it to combine all the measures. Combine all the measures in a defined query to load at once in dark pen in Power BI. Then you give it this. Why are we giving it this? Because this is the table we want all the measures to go to. Now we shall go ahead and enter. Now, what we are telling it, it is giving us many measures. We are not going to copy one by one. Since we already have AI, it can support us, combine all the measures, we take them at once, then we shall have all the measures created at once. Otherwise, you would have taken 2 hours to create measure one by one. Here it is done, it is doing its work, and we should be able to have it completed. Obviously, remember that these AIs have credits, free credits that when they run out, you can't use them. But for me, since I run many projects using these AI tools, you pay for them like $20 a month. That is around 50K. No. $20 is around 70. Yeah, 70 a month. So if you pay your cloud or chat GTP 70, then you pay for Power BI, because we are going to reach the other point of sharing and collaboration. You will need always to log in. So, or if you are doing projects and you want them to, now even here it gives you the steps, how to use this query, method, external tools, install these, no, I don't want that. Method 2, Power BI, DAX, query view, this is what I want. Open Power BI, go to view, enable DAX query view if it is not visible. For us, it is already visible here. You see this. You remember last time I explained 1, 2, 3. Now today we are using the fourth. So this and this work together, but this is what we are going to use. So if it is not visible, you go ahead and make it visible. Then create a new DAX query. Copy the entire query from the artifact. This is the artifact. Run it. Guys, here we go. We are going to Control A, Control A, Control V. Now you see we have run all these DAX. You remember our table had only one DAX, and you remember last time we created 5 DAX like in 40 minutes. So here we have used ChatGTP. Obviously, there are those errors that you'll need to sort out. Like now, sum of cells. So, which means we have to look out for this. In the table of cells, this is sum of cells. I think it is cells. Why do we have this? Okay. But the good thing I'm getting here, I think that it is success. So I'm going to run this. Now you wait a minute. So we're going to run this. Oh, it is giving us resolve column 47. This one updated. Actually, I may end up removing this. I don't know what this is. Cells. Oh, there is a space. Now you see there is something we didn't do right. So when you go to this column in Power Query, it has a space in front of the word cells. That's why you see there is that space. So we need to do that right. So you can go ahead here now, update model with change 30. So I will update model. And there we go. So it is still working, though it has not put the measures where I needed them. It has not seen our table, what we defined last time. So you see that all the measures have been put in the cells. You see all these measures. Actually, when you go to the data view, that's where you see the measures here. So it has automatically created for us 31 measures just in a go. So that's the beauty of using ChatGTP or AI when you're working with these tools. The report someone develops in 2 weeks, you can develop it in 1 day using the productivity of AI. We are no longer hiding behind that, me, I know it all. Know it, but productivity is different from knowing. So you know even all the syntax of how these are created, but now we have all the measures. Top 10, top countries, top products, all of them, previous year, we have the current year, COGS percentage and all that. So we have all that. We no longer need to go into one by one. So what I've done, I have moved all the measures that were created in the cells in the cells table back into our table for measures. And you see, I've moved them. They are no longer in this table because this table is just a fact table. So I've moved them here. How you move that is you come to the model view, you select measures here. You can even select more than one by selecting shift, and you click maybe the last one, then you come and change the home table here to the table you need. So we needed this table, and all of them move at once. There you go. So all our measures, the 31 measures, we have them here. So you can create as many tables as you want, sorry, as many visuals as you want, depending on what you're calculating. Yeah, Timothy, you're saying?
Yes, Chris. Chris, thank you so much for the training. For me, my question it's going to go back to module 3. I'm not a daily person of Excel, but there is something which is still disturbing me on the very the single file or our data that we are trying to prepare to model. If I only have one fact sheet, like the entire sheet that I'm working on, what disturbs me is if I'm doing if I'm doing if I'm running the fact sheets and fact tables, dimension tables. How do I move that data to make it a sheet like the data that you presented? Daphne tried to explain it to me, but she was busy today. I couldn't go physical with her to teach me how to do that.
Okay. There are two ways, and we call that normalization. You can note it down. Maybe you can read further on it. Normalization. Normalization means splitting or simplifying a bigger sheet or columns, a lot of columns into multiple tables, such that you have them modeled differently. Like even here, the data here we are using for this fact table, like it is one sheet. Otherwise, we would be having the segment sheet table, name them. But because we don't have the IDs, if we had the segment here and the segment IDs, I would have splitted this column into a dimension table. Would have had a dimension table that is having these. How many are these? A dimension table that has all these segments 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe with their IDs 1, 2, or 001, 002, and then we come here under modeling and model that table. Why you do that, that's why we call it normalization. Why you do that is to make sure that you remove the heaviness this table is carrying, the storage it is carrying. You remember last time I explained to you, if you save the word government and if you save it as 001, who is saving less? And if you're having one sheet, sometimes it may be hard for you to normalize, like to split, which means you'll have to work with it. But the only thing you can't work with at the stage you are with right now with Power BI is you can't work with data without a calendar table. Like you see how this table was clean. They added the columns within this table, which doesn't look nice when you start creating measures. That you'll reach a point creating measures and you find that some of the filters don't work well because the calendar table is part of the fact table. That's why now I'm okay actually if I come to this table in the data query. Let's say if I come to edit query and I remove all these columns. Just a moment. And I remove all these columns. That's what we call normalization. I remove year, I remove month name, I remove month number, date, this is the origin that we are using in the calendar table. So these, I'm not going to use them anywhere. Then there is no need of me running with them every time refreshing my data and they are running part. Then I will remove these columns. Now the same thing, you would do it on your data. That if I have a calendar table, then I don't need anything that is related to date. Let calendar table run anything that is related to date. Then, if in my table I have segment and I have segment ID, then let me remain with only ID, delete this, create a new table, call it segment table. Have the IDs separate. And how do we create that, by the way? Let me show you how you create dimension tables. Let's say if we had an ID here for segment ID, you come to this table and create a reference. You see, you create a reference like this. So when you create a reference, then you call this segment table. I always like to put TBL in front. So segment table, and now segment table, I don't need all these. So if I want to remain with only this segment, I select it, then you come here to remove columns and you say remove others. It will remove all the others like this and remain with this. Then you remove duplicates like that. You get? Then I can go ahead and add index. So you can come here on column and add index. You see, index column like that. Now that becomes like my ID, right? Now, which means I have now the segment table. If I load this and come to data modeling, we are going to find that table now, the table segment. Just a moment, you can give it time to load and apply the changes. Okay. Okay, done. And even it has detected the relationships. So you'll find that it has already created a relationship. So you see here, it has already created a relationship. Now the relationship it has created is the segment and segment. Now you see that at the end of the day, if I had segment ID here, which was 1 for government, maybe 2 for something else, I would remove this column of segment. Removing only this column of segment will have secured you a lot in performance and in storage. You can imagine this word government is repeating itself. That's the redundancy we reduce when we are cleaning data. We don't need this redundancy. We rather use 1 than rating the word government 1,000 times. The storage is high than rating 1111 throughout. Then we go the other side in the data modeling and model it, because now here on this table, when you come to tables here, on the table for segment, government is appearing once, but the tools will appear many times the other side, which is okay. So that's what you call normalization. So the data you're talking about, you can play with it in that way to make sure that you simplify it, you reduce its heaviness in storage and performance. But that one comes straight when you have, let's say, segment ID here. You have segment and segment ID. Like you can imagine if we had manager ID and managers, I would automatically have deleted manager column because I don't need it. Because I already have ID and I can model that. You can imagine the names here, I'm just showing NL11. But the name here would have been Sabit Christopher, very long. And you're rating Sabit Christopher 1,000 times. So I think, I don't know whether I've answered your question, but with time, you'll know the purpose and you learn the way how to manage it right. Like you see all these columns, segment, country, product. If we had time, we would even create IDs here and remove all these columns, and we remain with only IDs 111 222, either for Canada C, something like that, France F, such that you don't need Canada to be written 1,000 times, but at least C can be written 1,000 times. It doesn't take too much space than what Canada is taking. And this table, at the end of the day, you'll find that this table is so much simpler. Like you say, I've removed the other columns of calendar. It is simpler. Even these columns, like the gross was this times this. We already have DAX. You can remove that column and you calculate the gross from the other side as units sold times manufactured, and you sum. At the end of the day, you'll have your metrics without having that column. The discounts, maybe a discount may be a stamped figure. Let's say the sales, the COGS. The COGS, you see, you have the manufacturing price. It is this times the quantities, which is that. And the profits. Profits is gross sales minus the COGS. So you find that all these columns, you can get rid of them and just have one measure like this that is computing all that chunk of column you're having. I think that's fine.